Hey Ben,
Yes, Ryan?
how much dedicated wham does it take to play Steve in Super Smash Bros?
69.
I wasn't expecting that. All right, well, welcome to GamePunx. My name is Ryan,
And I'm Ben.
and it has been a big news week that we.
It's technically been two because we did a bonus round last week.
It's true.
So
it's
it
true.
kinda set us
We've
back.
had two really massive news weeks.
Things have happened.
But that means we have a lot to talk about right towards the break there. But I guess we can start off for what it was that we have been doing the past couple of weeks.
Yeah. I mean,
What have you been-
in
what have
terms
you
of
been
video
playing?
games, I've mostly been playing fighting games and Divinity 2, which I'm not
Ooh.
I'm not really going to be talking about Divinity 2 until I finish it, because that's
Okay.
usually how I am with these games. I don't like getting too ahead of myself, because that's kind of what happened with Pillars, right? I was like, oh my god, this game's so great, and then I just kind of like was like, yeah.
Don't burn yourself out.
Yeah,
on it,
exactly.
you know?
So I'm kind of like, all right, I'm going to enjoy Divinity 2 for what it is. I'm going to feel it out, and then I will have a constructed opinion at it at the end. That way I'm not bouncing back and forth.
It's a good strategy, actually.
What else have I been playing? Hold on, I got to check real quick. I've been playing a lot of
Sure
Fall Guys, because Season 2
Well,
just
I
started, and that's pretty fun. But, like, yeah, that's basically all I have to say is Season 2 was good. It's fun.
It's Fall Guys. I mean, it doesn't really change, but that's what makes it great.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting each time, and what you get is just a straight shot of dopamine right to your brain.
And I've also
basically.
been playing Stardew Valley, which is an amazing game, but I don't really have much to say other than it's an amazing game, little life sim. It is helping me with the fact that I'm not playing Animal Crossing.
It is a very good Animal Crossing substitute,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Because it is just Animal Crossing Harvest Moon,
Yeah.
basically.
That, Monster Hunter, and a bunch of fighting games like Power Rangers, obviously. I'm still into the Under Night In-Birth Uni Clear is later plus 5 Ultra R. And Dragon
What
Ball
the
Fighters,
fuck?
all that good jazz. It's an anime fighter. The name got longer with every single update iteration, and it's just getting out of hand. But it's fine. It's a good game. It's a very fun game. It's a very, very good fighting game. Them's fighting hers, all that shit. What I really want to talk about this week is all the movies I watched. I don't know if you can call them
fine pieces of cinema that
the features.
so brazenly consumed.
The features.
Feature films.
Yes. God, where do I even start? I'll start with the one that happened 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Oh, yes.
So, as I said, me and Anthony are doing the Alien anthology.
Alien-a-thon.
Is it an anthology?
Just Alien series.
Yeah. Because it's not over
It's not really
yet.
an anthology because they're not all anthological.
Yeah, it's true. The Alien
But, the Alien franchise.
shit show.
Shit show.
Well,
I mean, certainly towards the middle and the end there.
yeah.
Would be inclined to agree.
That's the thing, right? We talked about how one is a masterful film. It's great.
Yeah. Two is an excellent sequel, if kind of a completely different movie.
Yeah, it's very different from one, which is why I like one better. But it doesn't take away from the fact that two is amazing. Two
is in every ways an action film, where Alien 1 is in every way a horror film.
Yes, and
it replaces all the horror element.
I
with
feel
action.
the only thing about 2 is that it goes a little big in some areas where I'm like, you didn't really have the budget to go that big. I see what you're doing though, but
that's James Cameron's maximalism,
Yeah.
right? He's very into pressing the constraints of budget.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't have to worry about that anymore because he has all the money in the fucking world,
Yeah.
and he's going to make 1 billion avatars. But that's besides the point.
That is beside the point. And then there's Alien 3.
Oh, yeah.
So that's
3.
the one. That's the most recent one we watched. Because we watched that one, and we've hung out like maybe twice since we watched that one. But we were like, we need a little break. I'm gonna let that one. I'm gonna let that one simmer a bit. Let the salt reduce.
So,
gotta...
the first thing I'm going to ask you is, now, I know obvious answer is obvious, but did that not feel like a movie that was tampered with?
It not only felt like a movie that was tampered with, because it very clearly was. Poor David Fincher got
Holy shit.
handed a pile of shit.
Yeah, basically. They cut and ran.
Yeah, I mean, the studio didn't
really
even like want to make Alien 3, but
No.
the producer, like the publishing studio or whatever the fuck it is in movies, was like, no, do it. If we're making so much money. And then they made the most uneventful 2.5 hours of my life.
I think the problem with Alien 3, apart from it just kind of being like the obvious result of like a studio having zero confidence in their director's vision, is that there are so many like great idea kernels in there that they just never get a chance to actually do anything with.
Yeah.
Like the idea of the setting is such a great setting.
Well, there's I don't know. The setting feels meh to me.
You have to consider that that's a setting that basically hadn't been done in fiction yet.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why I find it so interesting. It's something that's completely outside of something that you would see in like mainstream sci-fi at like in any degree. So it's a really, really unique kind of place to set a movie, yet alone an alien movie.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities that present itself within that setting are like, holy shit. Like
there's so much cool shit potential that could have happened, and they did
and
nothing.
Didn't.
Literally nothing happened, actually.
So much cool shit that could have happened, but
that
didn't.
movie ends and the credits hit, and you're like, I know events happened, but did anything happen? Like, was there even a story, or was just like...
It really
just
is kind of like
nothing movie.
It's that it kind of moment. Is that it?
Yeah.
It's the whole thing? You know?
It's just...
You're not gonna give me like a resolution.
Nope. Fell in the lava, it's over.
Development on any of these characters that you've introduced? Nah, okay.
Oh, what? This super fun character that we'll introduce in the first half of the movie and murder him? The only character with actual character plot?
Yeah, Alien 3 is not wonderful, I must say. Not certainly nowhere even.
I will say it was ballsy of them to just murder Newt like that wasn't the most like important plot point of Aliens, but whatever.
Yeah. Like it's kind of
like so many decisions are just so weird.
It does. It's a movie that really doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And
visually it's not great.
I don't get why.
Like
no, I mean visually I think it had, once again, it's another question of there being so much potential, but it's so safe. The cinematography and the filmmaking that's like the filmmaking that's occurring is so safe.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's safe, it's boring and it's uneventful and it's
because it's a fucking alien movie.
Slog.
Which is
like no, exactly. Which what is this series if not inventive?
Yeah,
completely inventive and unique. Like you don't get H.R. Geiger to do art design for a movie that is fucking boring.
No,
you know, like that's not a recipe for a boring film. So to see what the series became in just 3 movies, simply because the studio got
it's a grubby little.
Greedy
hands
basically,
in there.
Basically got themselves far too involved.
Too many cooks.
Yeah, no, it really is a too many cooks in the kitchen. They fucking spoiled the broth.
Yeah.
They really did. It's a poor film. So I imagine you and Anthony did not like it very much.
Oh, well, I mean, Anthony's seen it, and he was like, you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yeah. We gotta do them all.
So he warned you.
Oh, yeah, and I already knew through osmosis that it was
just like
garbage, but I didn't know how bad. Like I thought it was maybe just like, wow, that was dumb that happened, and it is like, yeah, wow, that was dumb that happened, but also like did anything actually happen?
I mean, that's not a movie where shit happens.
No, exactly. Even like,
which I gotta say, if Alien Resurrection is good to any degree,
even
shit
the
does in
super
fact happen
obvious
in Resurrection.
like everything's so predictable in that, except for like some like. Okay, so there's the scene where like she's walking through the courtyard, right, and then like the rape gang shows up.
Oh
and
my god!
They're like, "Lady, we don't know what ladies are because we've been in space and prison and stuff." And then the one guy comes and like beats their ass with a pipe, and it's like Ripley would have had that.
Yeah, they really kind of strip away her agency.
Yeah, and like Ripley's basically not even a character in this fucking movie.
No, she's really not. You can see them trying to once again like take the character in a direction, but the direction they want to take Ripley in doesn't make any sense, and she ends up feeling a lot like
it's like Tomb Raider,
Samus in Metroid Other M.
Yeah, and Tomb Raider. The most recent one from Ubisoft, I think, or whatever.
No, they're Crystal Dynamics.
Oh yes. But yeah, where they're like, we want you to feel like you can protect Laura, and it's like, what? She should be protecting me.
Yeah, she's too stoic.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's a stoicism that doesn't come from a character being internally strong and having a strong force of will. It's like a stoicism that comes from the writers clearly not understanding how to write women.
Yeah.
And that kind of
Because I mean, that's the thing. In two, they do it so good, right? Because she has all this trauma and she's like, I fucking hate this.
Honestly, like if there's one thing James Cameron consistently can do, and as much as I hate to give James Cameron a compliment in 2020, he does often write pretty good female characters.
Yeah.
Like his female characters are rarely bad.
Especially when they're Sigourney Weaver.
Sarah Connor is wonderful in Terminator, and she's even better in Terminator 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Ripley in Alien 2 is like...
And the only thing I actually remember from
action
Avatar is Sigourney Weaver's character.
Yeah, who is also great, and
Yeah.
I'm sure passes the Bechdel test. You know,
but yeah,
he does write good female characters.
What was I saying?
Oh god, I'm
Laura
just thinking
Croft.
about Avatar again.
Oh Jesus!
But
I was gonna say, remember Avatar 2? That was supposed to come out like in 2016 or something.
It's supposed to come out now, I believe. It's coming out soon.
Oh, is it? It's back? Oh.
Well, I mean, it's done, basically.
Oh.
I think he filmed Avatar 2 and 3 back to back.
Oh, no.
So the production is done on both of them now. It's just they're in post because it's like all
and theaters are closed, so they're not going to let that go to streaming services.
Well,
James Cameron's like, I don't fucking think so, Disney Plus.
Yeah, and plus Disney like invested so much money into the Avatar brand because they built like a theme park area and shit with like almost the same level of detail as they put into the Star Wars area. So like that's pretty incredible, I have to say.
Oh god, now I'm thinking about
they're
Star
not
Wars.
willing to risk that.
Why do movies?
Why do movies?
Speaking of why do movies, gonna lobby off this one.
Movies?
Which do I go for? Okay, I'll go for the next one. I'll just do these in chronological order. I feel like it'll be easier for my brain. So then after that, one morning before work, I was alone at my wonderful, wonderful partner's house, and I had no idea what to do. So I turned Shudder on, and then I saw that ICU was...
Oh yeah, which by the way, anybody who doesn't have Shudder and you like horror, get Shudder.
Yeah, sponsored.
It's so worth it if you're a horror fan.
No,
really
we're not.
is.
We're not. We should be, but we're not. No, it shouldn't be. I don't want to be sponsored. Anyway, whatever.
I mean, I would like to be sponsored by Shudder.
Yeah, well, it would. Yeah, it would be fun. Those ad reads.
But yeah, get Shudder if you don't have Shudder, because it's just if you're a horror fan, it is a dream come true.
Yes,
Like
they recently added, God, a bunch of shit. Yeah, that's another thing I actually want to talk about is another Shudder thing, which I'll get into after this. But
sure.
ICU.
Yes, you watched ICU.
Is a horrible, horrible, predictable mess.
It is
it's
horror
comical.
movie based around a spooky mask.
I have to suggest it because it's just
it's a comedy
fucking
of errors.
funny. It's like a comedy. It's like they writ and directed a comedy almost, but added a horror score. By the way, that score carries that fucking movie. The
score is really good.
In that game is
the audio design in that movie in general is actually rather good. But it's the entire reason why the movie could almost pass itself off as a horror movie, because otherwise it reads like
it's
parody.
almost comical. Yeah, that's the thing. Especially the ending. Oh god. Anyway, all right. So yeah, the setup is the first the first thing that happens in this fucking movie made me laugh so goddamn hard that I was like, all right, I have to watch it all, no matter how bad it is, in case something as hilarious as this happens. And just this kid riding his bicycle through the woods, and then you have the classic killer's view from the woods that creeps up towards the child. They do a
Halloween, basically.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is a cool effect. It's kind of going for the Friday the 13th one feel, Halloween, the classic 80s horror thing. And then the kid just goes fucking flying backwards off of his bike, and I've never laughed so hard at a horror movie.
It's a pretty extravagant image, I have to say.
It's so goddamn funny because he's flailing really his arms, and it was very clearly pulled by a rope or something. Yeah.
No, because the force that he's pulled with is so woof and immediate.
Yeah, it's so funny. And then really the thing is, later in the movie, one of the cops finds that it's a string tied between two trees, and I'm like, if he had hit that, he wouldn't have gone flying back 1,000,000 feet like he did. Because oh god, it's so funny. But yes, anyway, so it's about this family, right? And the dad's a cop, and the mom.
So already you're you deserve to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then the mom is she cheated, so the son's mad at the mom. Way madder than any actual teenager would be, I think. If I don't know, it seemed a little excessive. Because the teenager's like, "Yeah, are you fucking another guy, mom?" And it's like, Jesus, did she cheat on you?
Way too invested.
Yeah, did she cheat on you? You ruined our family. Jesus Christ, you're fucking 16. Why would you? Anyway.
That's ridiculous.
It seems a little excessive, but
it's the last thing I would want to say to my mom.
Anyway, so weird shenanigans start happening around the house, and the whole time you're like, oh wow, is this how... Oh yeah, by the way, the whole time the cop dad is looking for a child kidnapper who was apparently arrested many years ago, but now his MO is happening again. Everyone's like, ooh, well, he's still in jail. How could it possibly be him?
Which totally cribbed from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, and God, so yeah, weird things start happening around the house. More children go missing. The guy who the mom was cheating on with fucking shows up and is super weird, and some shit flies out of the house and hits him in the head. And the whole time you're like, is it the son? What's happening? Why is all this weird shit happening? So a bunch of weird shit happens, and about midway through the movie, the climax shot happens, but not really. The dad and the mom find their child tied up in the bathroom, and they're like, "Oh God, he's here! The killer is here!" So then the mom is like, "I'll take him to the hospital. You deal with this asshole." And the dad's like, "I got this." And then it cuts to a thing where the dad is looking at some shit, and then he almost gets hit with an axe, and it hard cuts to two froggers, because that's what they're called. So basically homeless youth that live inside your house with you in the walls, but you don't know they're there, because that's real, because everyone just has a bunch of wall space that you can just crawl through anyway. So yeah, this girl's there, and she's like, "Oh, I brought my friend along so he could help film and experience this." And then her friend starts acting really weird and starts being a sociopath, and you're like, he's the one doing all the crazy killing shit. He was the one who doing all the weird shit, but he's not the killer. Well, anyway, I'm gonna skip over a bunch of shit, but long story short, the child kidnapper is the cop dad. Shocker. And he's the one who actually killed everyone in the house. He killed the
surprise. Yeah. A cop is bad to his family.
Yeah, and children and stuff. Anyway, but the ending is very comical because so the boy who was a survivor, actually, he's one of the two that got away from the first batch of children murders or whatever.
Okay.
So that's why he has a grudge against this cop dad. The mask isn't ever really explained, by the way.
No, they never really do anything.
It's just he just likes it, and he holds it on. There's the really funny scene where he locks the dad in the basement. He locks the dad in the closet, and then hides under the bed, and then the dad and the mom are fighting because he's like, "What do you mean you weren't holding the door?" Blah blah blah, and he's like making them think they're going nuts. And the kid hiding under the bed just grabs the mask and like slowly, stoically puts it on. And then falls asleep.
You don't get it, bro. It's so deep.
Yeah, it's funny. But yeah, back to the ending. Yeah, everything's in slow-mo. The dad, the survivor boy, who is the mask boy, shoots the dad. The dad's partner, who doesn't know that the dad is evil, comes in, just looks at the dad on the floor, and just shoots the kid with, like, just no questions asked. Just shoots the child.
That's pretty funny.
And then the kid like looks up and he's like, "Detective Gumshoe," whatever his name is.
Detective Gumshoe.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh shit, it's that boy that I saved all those years ago. What's going on?" And then they somehow, in the same course of like 30 minutes, find the other children that were being kept in the woods, and like the mom comes back, and like no like this whole scene is like the audio's cut off, there's just some music, and you're supposed to like be like, oh, everyone's realizing what happened, but it's like the mom just looks in the back of a truck and there's a baseball bat, and she's like stares at it angrily, and then the son just starts crying, and you're like, nobody told anyone anything.
This is so stupid.
This doesn't make any sense. Anyway,
that movie is so up its own.
So that was like, it really is. It's very like, it's super self-indulgent. It's very clearly like
it thinks it's a smarter movie.
Exactly. I was about to say it feels like Donnie Darko in that sense, where like it's like, oh, you just don't get it, dude. Not on the same level of Donnie Darko, but
what if like somebody with none of like the conceptualism or skill tried to make like Hereditary?
Oh God. Yeah,
it's like what if somebody with like no actual creative vision
and the casting
attempted to emulate like, and even in like kind of how the movie is color graded.
Oh,
it reminds me of like an Ari Aster movie. It's got that kind of vibe to it.
Well, I mean, they were going for a very clear feel and like storyline. It's just the execution was hilarious.
No, exactly, because it's so unintentionally funny and it's so goofy and overdramatic.
It's so funny. So yeah, recommended on like shit watch for that one.
It is really, really quite funny.
God,
I recommend people indulge.
Yeah. I watched too many things, so I'm gonna skip a couple of things. I think.
Sure.
I watched Mandy again for like the 6th time. That movie's so good.
Mandy is just like it's just like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, and we watched. Me and Anthony watched Color Out of Space.
I have not.
The Nicolas Cage one. Color Out of. Hold on, I gotta get the title right because.
I like Nicolas Cage a lot.
Yeah, Color Out of Space. It came out last year. Space. It's with Nicolas Cage. It fits really well in the feel of Reanimator and From Beyond.
Oh, that sounds great.
And it's
both of those movies.
It's loosely based off of Lovecraft shit, right?
Okay, so it's fitting into the cosmic horror.
Yes, it unfortunately kind of seems like it's marketed as a Mandy 2, and that's not at all what you're going to get out of this. What you will get, though, is a very, very fun romp through... like I said, just kind of fits in with Reanimator and From Beyond. Mm-hmm. Everyone starts going a little nuts. No one really knows why. Yeah, good shit.
It sounds pretty interesting, actually.
It's on Netflix right now. I mean, you can just.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
We can talk about it next week.
The premise
actually.
is really, really getting me, so I'm gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
I like that sort of.
And
I mean, I love Reanimator. It's one of my favorite horror movies.
Exactly. Yeah. God, okay, so it's just taking it back now to like that's my good movie suggestion. You should watch that, and that way we can actually like have a good discussion about that
Yeah, we'll
next
do.
week. But I watched also Hubie Halloween.
Yeah, I want to hear about this because I'm curious and I legit kind of want to watch it.
Have you ever seen an Adam Sandler movie?
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I have.
There you go.
What I understand though is this movie was effectively his revenge for being snubbed for the Uncut Gems.
He
Oscar.
could have made a way worse movie.
It's not actually that bad.
It's pretty bad, but it's not.
Does he do an annoying voice through the whole movie?
Huh?
Does he do like an annoying voice?
Oh, he does the most annoying voice that he's ever done.
You know what? I kind of want to watch it just
there.
on that,
there's a good gag.
I find that really really just like enticing.
There's a good gag in the
Sandler
first
stupid voice.
5 minutes where I don't remember what happens. All I know is he's riding his bike and then he just violently throws up to the side. And because throw up humor gets me every time. So I was just like, ha ha.
I find it very funny too. Yeah.
But everything outside of that is basically a PG Friday the 13th is what you're getting out of this movie, down to the plot twist.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's not quite what I was expecting. I'm curious. I think I'll watch that just because it's like the watch this movie. Movie of the week.
Well, I mean that's it. Like I wanted to watch it because I was like, oh, he said he was gonna make it really bad, and also, okay, let's see what this shit is about. But then
let's see what happens when Adam Sandler tries to make a bad.
Yeah,
movie.
but then Steph told me another factoid about this whole debauchery that got me even more down to watch it. Wherein last summer she went to Salem to go like just sightseeing, like tourist shit. And she wanted to go to the park where they filmed Hocus Pocus, but it was closed due to filming for something. And this was the movie it was closed for. And I was like, wow. You want to see what made your trip like lose some shit? And it was it worth it, honey?
Hubie goddamn Halloween.
She says it was super worth
Halloween.
it.
That's really interesting. I'm gonna have to give that a watch. And I've been watching a lot of movies. Not all of them horror. 2 of them though for sure. But I was focusing more on like G-rated horror.
Yeah.
Just because I wasn't super in the mood for something really pants-shittingly scary or fun scary. I just wanted something that was like Halloween-y to get me started off.
Yeah.
So I watched. Well, first thing I do is my Halloween tradition. I do this every year. Is I watch Disney's Sleepy Hollow, which I love.
Oh, nice. Yep.
That is a really fun little adaptation.
I haven't seen that one in so long. Jesus.
It is a Halloween-y thing. What I like the most about it, and something that I've grown to appreciate even more as I grow up and as I become a bigger fan of Popeye. I'm a big Popeye fan. This is like the closest Disney ever got to doing straight up like a Fleischer Brothers Popeye cartoon.
Yeah.
It's so goofy, and it's a lot of really, really well executed physical humor.
Yep.
And a lot of great humor around like characters' bodies warping and moving in different funny ways.
Mm-hmm. I remember the animation's like really strange.
It's really goofy and cool, and it's also Sleepy Hollow is a weird story because it really is basically the story of like an uppity New York City fuckboy who decides he's gonna go to a small town and bang all the women there and eat all their food and then leave.
Yeah.
And like we're supposed to kind of be on his side. So the fact that like this Disney adaptation doesn't shy away from making him an unlikable dick.
Yeah.
Ichabod Crane sucks, man. Ichabod Crane is a piece of shit. He just likes to fuck around, and they can't directly say that he's going around getting pussy. Clearly, it's what they're talking about when they like use food as a metaphor for him having sex.
Oh God!
He literally keeps a little black book of all the meals that he has had.
Oh.
It's so like nakedly obvious.
Yeah.
What they're saying with him is that he's a fuckboy. He's a shitty fuckboy who goes around recording his sexual conquests, and he trades basically his integrity as an educator for sexual favors or for, food favors from like the parents of the children in his schoolhouse, and all these girls in this small town swoon over him and are in love with him because he's just, big city new guy.
Big Dick Ichabod.
Big Dick Ichabod, exactly. DICKabod, if you will.
That's a title right there.
DICKabod Crane.
DICKabod
Crane.
But
that is, I don't know. It's very interesting to see Disney go for something so overtly risque.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the first, it's the first 40 minutes or so of this are just straight up a great little fun cartoon. Maybe not 40 minutes. It's not actually that long.
And then Johnny Depp shows up.
The first three quarters of this short are a really good, comedy with like Bing Crosby narration and a lot of like weird boogie woogie 40s pop music kind of sensibility to it and swagger. And like I said, all this weird Popeye physical comedy.
Yeah.
And then the last 8 minutes are legitimately pants-shittingly terrifying. Because it's just, the atmosphere completely changes. Bing Crosby's narration just fucking disappears. And then it's just 8 minutes of Ichabod getting chased down a spooky road by the Headless Horseman, who is taking swings, really working to get his head off his fucking shoulders. So it's pretty great, and the animation on the Horseman is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I remember the animation standing out a lot in that movie. Like, when I think of that movie, that's all I can think of. I can't even really place a face. I just remember, like, thinking, wow, this, like, the animation style is very nice.
It's appropriate you can't place a face, because he doesn't have a head.
I was talking about Ichabod. Isn't he like some blonde nose? He's got a nose.
He has
one of those noses,
He looks like a bird man.
Yeah,
he looks like a funny scarecrow man. He's so tall
and see if my
stupid
brain is
looking.
Right.
But he has got like a little bow in his hair. He's very funny. It's a very funny design. He's basically like male Olive Oil, like tall and lanky with like a goofy face.
Oh god.
He's so funny looking. But and they remark about it too at the beginning. They play like there's a little Ichabod Crane song, and it's just like he's tall and lanky and he looks stupid. Like they're like, he looks stupid, but he's charming and debonair, and it's just like,
oh yeah, wow, and really he's eating the pie, and he's like,
he eats a pie in like in just a mouthful, like he just like eats the whole pie.
Big Dick Ichabod.
Eating pie once again, like not very subtle, but. Yeah, Sleepy Hollow is really interesting and fun, and yeah, the animation on the Headless Horseman is amazing. There's something about horse animation from like people, like animated by people who grew up more with horses than with automobiles.
Yeah,
because the movement is a lot like there's something that you get from horse movement in old animation you don't get from horse movement in new animation, no matter if they're using live horses to model or like taking direct references. There's something that's a lot less naturalistic about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or if not naturalistic, at least slightly more artificial or slightly more abstracted, versus like just this crazy good horse movement on the Headless Horseman and on Ichabod's little horse, which is like supposed to be an old horse. So it moves in a way an old fucking horse would move.
Yeah.
And I can't even imagine what it would be like to sit in an animation studio and have like the director say, okay, the horse has to move like it's an old man. And it's like, pardon, you want to say that again?
Yeah.
Move like an old man?
Give it a walker.
Really, really impressive. It basically looks like it's wearing a walker. It has this big, stupid plow collar.
Yeah. I remember all this shit now. It's always, like, its head's always kind of down and, like, yeah.
Exactly. It's a really, really fun short. I watch it every Halloween because it always gets me into the Halloween mood. And surely enough, it did. And then after that, we watched Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, which that is my favorite of the 4 Scooby-Doo movies that Warner commissioned that were done by Anime Studios. Yeah. It was the first 4 straight-to-video Scooby-Doo movies. Were really
so good.
All of them are mostly pretty good. I think Alien Invaders and Cyberchase are kind of okay.
No, I love them all.
But Witch's Ghost and Zombie Island are amazing.
Witch's Ghost and Zombie Island are very hard to beat, though.
Those are the 2 that most feel like Scooby-Doo anime, because they basically are. They're entirely animated by a Japanese studio.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think some of the studios that at the time were working on like a lot of like the late period Warner animation.
Oh my
so,
god!
Like,
Talking
some
about
some of them had probably done work on Batman the Animated Series. Those kinds of things. I think that the studio they got to work on it was made up of people who were formerly from TMS. And TMS, I mean, they're like, they're massive. They're like one of the most popular and well-regarded and prolific Japanese animation studios ever. They do Lupin and they do a whole bunch of other shit. So yeah, they did this movie, and Witch's Ghost is, I think,
it's so good.
Maybe my favorite of the four.
It's so good.
It's so interesting and weird. It's like a direct tribute to like New England culture and the culture of like fall and autumn harvest festivals. And like the weird Wiccan and pagan like origin of a lot of those things. So it's really it's unique amongst Scooby-Doo movies for kind of playing really deeply into the occult in a way that also Zombie Island does, but it's a different, like, Zombie Island is set in New Orleans, not in New Orleans, but in Louisiana. Yeah. And it's very like, this is on the bayou. It's a lot of voodoo and that kind of magic.
We got gumbo.
Yeah, versus this being like Wiccan European, European magic with a K kind of shit.
Yeah.
It's really quite cool, and I like that Tim Curry is in it playing basically Stephen King, but evil.
Yeah.
So basically just regular Stephen King. Basically playing Stephen King when he was on coke.
There we go.
And he's...
You did it,
had
man.
to get it on the third try. But, yeah, Tim Curry playing coked up Stephen King. Who is like,
are you sure it just
with
wasn't just doped up Stephen King? Kevin Sting? Jesus.
Kevin Sting. He was in the Police.
Yeah.
But that's a really, really fun kind of character to have as your primary antagonist.
Mm-hmm.
And he only kind of reveals himself towards the end of the movie.
Yeah, to the later half. Because
which
Velma's
is really
like...
funny.
Velma's fucking ready for that one.
Which I'm laughing at because I'm just like, is this Velma's type, Stephen King?
Yeah.
I guess he's bookish and he writes horror.
Yeah.
It seems like somebody...
Does he write horror, though? Or does he write...
Yeah, he does. He was a horror novel writer.
Does he?
The guy in the movie.
No, I mean Stephen King, though. Does he?
Oh, yeah, he writes horror. Oh, believe me. I've read a lot of Stephen King. He doesn't always write good horror, but he writes horror. Okay. Not all of it is amazing. Some of it is, though. Some of his horror is quite good. But
I know his short stories are his strongest point.
Yes and no.
Because he doesn't know how to end things.
I disagree. I think he just, when he was on coke, literally didn't know what he was doing.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense.
He was so hard. That's why It is a horrible novel.
Yeah.
It's overlong and overly verbose, overstays its welcome. It
has a child orgy, which is never necessary.
It's really disgusting. So that book sucks. But anyway, yeah, Stephen King is the villain of this movie. He wants to resurrect his old ancestor who was like an actual for real witch. And she was like imprisoned in a book, and so throughout the whole movie he's like, you have to find the book.
Yeah, we have to find the book.
Like, he's asking, they're digging up in this land to make a pioneer village to bring tourism to the town, and the mayor's like, I'm sorry, but we never found any book.
The mayor in this movie fucking
he's got like a fucking funny ass Massachusetts accent.
The voice actor who did the mayor is so good in that movie.
Well, I'm real sorry about that.
Never found that book.
We never found that book that you were looking for. Honest,
Yeah,
it's really funny. It's like a funny Massachusetts accent.
It's so good.
And yeah, Tim Curry's like, I need the book. I'm an American author from America.
We can't overstate the gift that Witch's Ghost gave to us, which is of course the Hex Girls.
Oh yeah, whom I love dearly, dearly. And probably it's one of those things where it's just like, why did I grow up to be gay? And
origin stories.
I wonder why. I grew up to be gay and trans.
I found a YouTube video that's just all three of the songs that they do.
So good.
And I've just been using that as my stream intro.
They're like good goth rock. It's really good goth rock.
That's the thing. It's really good.
I love that line where they're like, "We're eco goths."
Yeah, yeah.
And just like, ooh, that's like.
And then they have that one song where it's just like, wind, fire, something about the earth and how we need to save her. Some shit. It's so good. Yeah, it's just god, I'm gonna go listen to this after.
The earth is our desire. Yeah, that was a really, really good movie. I had such a fun time watching it. I haven't watched it in at least a good decade, so it was nice revisiting it because I think it is still my favorite of those.
Yeah, well, I'm adding it to my list because I thought of it obviously because it was my stream intro music, but I didn't think of actually rewatching the movie for some reason.
I do have to say the ending scene in which Shaggy and Scooby fight a giant turkey and evil pumpkins. Very funny and wonderful.
Yeah,
and felt appropriate for it coming up on Thanksgiving. To have that kind of in the mind, because I mean, like, what is Thanksgiving if not
giant pumpkins and evil turkeys?
Giant pumpkins, evil turkeys, and like the creepy twinge of evil United States colonialism.
Yeah,
which is deeply, deeply actually something they talk about in the movie. So there you go.
It's all there.
It's all about how the Pilgrims were ignorant and shitty, basically. Yeah. But it's a really enjoyable flick. The last thing that I watched, and I'm just gonna mention I watched it because I think it was funny that of all the things I decided to revisit, I revisited this.
Oh God!
I watched Epic Movie from the year of our Lord 2007.
Bless.
Which, if you are not aware, it is a Seltzerberg comedy.
Yeah.
So it is a shitty collection of bad movie parodies and really, really horrible topical at the time humor. I'll just say this. I had completely forgotten that the ending of the movie was Borat just kind of farting at the audience.
Really?
Yeah, a guy doing a really bad Borat impression.
Yes, because they couldn't
this movie couldn't have been more 2007.
They couldn't get Sacha Baron Cohen.
By the way, Borat innocent. But but I do really, really appreciate their dedication to getting like Crispin Glover to play evil Johnny Depp Willy Wonka. I have to say Crispin Glover was really like he's an interesting dude. He's a weird eccentric actor. You know, he's most probably known for playing George McFly in the first Back to the Future movie, and then not in the sequels because he refused to come back. Mm-hmm. He's a great actor, though. He's probably one of the most talented actors of his generation. But he's a weird eccentric dude. He dates a lot of like burlesque models and owns a castle in like the Czech Republic,
where he keeps his burlesque models.
Presumably, but he actually makes a lot of movies starring disabled people, which is really cool. Like he self-finances with all the money he makes doing whatever bit parts he gets nowadays, or he goes for.
Yeah.
Financing movies starring disabled actors, like
that's fucking
with
cool.
serious physical and mental handicaps. Like he's not exploiting them in any way. It's clear that he's giving these people an outlet to express themselves artistically, which is very cool.
Yeah, and needed.
He self-finances all of this shit, and he tours these movies around like North America.
Yeah.
You know, with like
I imagine like film festivals like and shit.
Yeah, screening them, and he'll bring like just a reel and play it off of like a fucking projector.
Here's the negatives.
Yeah, basically. So he's pretty cool. But yeah, he is in Epic Movie, and he's playing Willy Wonka for like 10 minutes, and it's a dead-on impression of the Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Well, Johnny Depp's not hard to impersonate after.
Although I have to say, this is
Willy
a movie
Wonka
that
whatever. Yeah.
This movie is from an era in which there could be two major Johnny Depp roles parodied in the same parody movie.
Okay, yeah.
Because there's a guy doing an actual pretty good Jack Sparrow impression. I don't know if it was because I was just smashed and all of my friends were smashed while we were watching it together.
That's the thing. Sometimes
or because it was kind of legit a good impression. But we were. I think my friend Alex was like, "Oh my god, that's actually kind of good," and we all just like laughed. But there's something about these like mid-2000s parody movies that always like gets me. Is it's like the same three jokes.
It's insane.
There's like a lady with big tits.
Yep.
Is one. The joke is just it's a lady with big titties.
Yeah. Wait.
There's a joke where
fat person.
A fat person, fatty fall down.
Yeah, fatty fall down.
Fatty Fall Down is a good joke. It's in all of them. And then the other one
Stole
that's
that from Adam
evergreen
Sandler.
is... well, I mean... Adam Sandler stole that from culture. Fatty Fall Down is a bad joke in our culture. But the one that always gets me, and it's present in every single one of them, from Scary Movie all the way to like fucking Vampire Suck or whatever.
Is it the P one?
Is somebody dances to like a hip hop song and break dances for 3 seconds, and that's the joke.
Oh yeah,
like the joke is somebody break dances.
It's true. Holy shit! It is in all of them.
All of them. They're in superhero movie, like when he's doing the Spider-Man from Spider-Man 1 crawling up the wall for the first
and then
time.
you
The first
got
thing he does is
No
he break
Face,
dances.
No Face in Scary Movie 1?
Yeah, Ghostface, yeah, he does a break dance.
Ghostface,
And
not No Face.
it's funny because he's dancing to hip-hop.
Yeah,
and
he's
how
got a
funny
knife.
that he dances to rap music, bro. Literally at the beginning of Epic
Music
Movie, and
make you
three
lose
times
control.
throughout the movie, the same joke 3 times. One of them is like right at the beginning, David Carradine is playing like the guy who is dead at the beginning of the Da Vinci Code.
God, David
And
Carradine.
he just gets up and does a breakdance, and it's clearly, a guy breakdancing with the same makeup as David Carradine. Also, I can't believe David Carradine was in this. Was this like his last role before he fucking died masturbating?
I was trying to figure out how to work it in there. I think his last thing he did was that weird fucking like self-help video.
Oh, that was weird.
With the hose. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, with all those hose.
Yeah, no, with the hose, the water hose. He's just like,
no, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh god, I'll send it to you after. It's hilarious.
That sounds kind of mystifying, but
there's like it's a trip.
There's a bunch of jokes in this movie where it's like, he danced to rap music. Another one, or just like a guy does a thing that's kind of like, wow, that's so gangsta, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
do you think when he
is,
goes
like,
to the club, the writer of this movie goes to the club, he's just pissing, laughing the entire time? Because there's a bunch of people dancing. The writer of the movie.
Oh god.
Because he's just like, holy shit, look at all these people dancing to hip hop.
This is so funny, bro.
I can't do it. Get me out of here. My lungs collapsing.
Literally every single one. The one that the other joke that actually kind of got me laughing.
Is it a puke joke?
I regret to admit, no, it's not. But
because puke jokes get a free pass.
There's just like a random cameo from Fred Willard in the middle of the movie, and he's playing like Aslan, basically from Narnia.
Oh.
But yeah, the movie is like an extended Narnia parody, with like a bunch of other references thrown in.
Oh god, yeah, it's true. It's
a parody of Narnia primarily.
Oh.
It's Narnia, but the main characters are brought together in the style of like Willy Wonka.
Was Narnia in 2007?
Narnia was 2006, I believe.
Oh.
And I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is 06 as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's a lot of these movies from 06, and the movie came out in 07. Borat's from 06.
Oh, yeah.
I think Pirates of the Caribbean 2 is from 06.
Yeah.
That's the one,
like
the one with Davy
one.
Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, like all of those movies are parodied, and they're all, they're awful. They're so bad. But I think the thing that legit kind of made me laugh was... in the final battle scene, they're like about to all square up and shit. The Fred Willard cameo is good, but and there's like an extended joke where it's like an Asian guy dressed in the same makeup as Fred Willard fighting kung fu with like another guy. Oh yeah, Kevin Hart is playing.
Oh no,
Kevin Hart is in this because he was in a bunch of these movies actually, playing the guy from the Da Vinci Code who's like the self-flagellating murderous monk.
Oh yeah.
That guy. So Kevin Hart is playing him, but he's in like white face makeup, so he looks like he's albino. And he's running around. He's got like all black contact lenses. He looks like a fucking weird Tyler the Creator.
Yeah. I was about to say.
He looks like an Odd Future like
music
photo
video
from like 2011.
Yeah.
But it's really distracting that it's Kevin Hart. And then he goes and he's like, there's just like a bunch of jokes with like the translations and subtitling because he's speaking all in Latin, but he's just saying stupid shit and they're translating it obviously incorrectly.
Oh, okay.
But they're making him say all this ludicrous shit like like when he's he like is asking the white bitch, haha, white bitch, not white witch,
Uh,
to flog him with the fucking cat
how'd they
of
come
nine
up with that
tails.
one? That's genius. Holy shit.
I can't believe it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's asking her to like flog him with the cat of nine tails whip that he has. And he's just like, beat me like Bobby beats Whitney, allegedly, in parentheses. And it's just like, oh my fucking god, that's such an old, shitty reference.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it for 2 seconds, and I'm like, wow, Whitney Houston is dead. Like,
Oh.
that's really horrible.
Oh no. It's true. Things happen.
It's really awful. And her daughter is dead, too. Bobby Brown's still alive. Why couldn't Bobby Brown die? He sucks. As a person and as like a musician.
Yeah.
He should have been the one to die, not Whitney Houston. But yeah, it was some fucking shit to watch for sure. And I'm honestly tempted to maybe watch Meet the Spartans now as well, just to see how it holds up, because that's a parody of all the movies from 2007.
I'm gonna wait for October to finish up, right? But I think I'm also gonna go. I'm just gonna go through all of them. Just scary movie, epic movie, superhero movie.
Superhero movie I watched actually pretty recently, and I remember thinking it reminds me less of the Seltzerberg movies and more of the first Scary Movie.
Okay.
Which is like,
but
good,
that must
thing.
Also be weird going back to in a post MCU world.
It is, because it's a parody specifically of the early X-Men movies and of like Fantastic Four and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like, it's those movies specifically, that style of movie, and superhero movies are so not like that anymore.
Exactly.
Like the movie that was closest to that was
gonna
Venom.
be so weird to go back to.
It was interesting. It's not the funniest movie, but I do find it funny that Drake Bell is playing the main character, and then he later went to be Spider-Man's voice for like 5 seasons of television.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So that's kind of funny, I guess. I guess they were like, yeah, Drake Bell is kind of like a young Spider-Man.
Yeah, someone was watching superhero movie and said, "Hey,
wait a second,
call up Drake Bell's agent."
Let's replace Josh Keaton's stat, which was like, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all for replacing Josh Keaton with fucking Drake Bell, you piece of shit. But yeah, the superhero movie was interesting. But yeah, epic movie fucking sucks. It was not epic.
Epic movie, not epic.
It was not epic. That's
not epic out of 10. You heard it here
but
first.
But there's some shit in it that honestly made me laugh. Maybe I was just too fucked up.
You probably.
But there was just some of the shit that
well, I mean, like,
so
some of the shit that I laughed at in Hubie Halloween was just because I was like, I'm still watching this? Like, this is still happening? It's like a 2-hour movie, by the way.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Fucking nuts.
So, thankfully, epic movie is not that long. Although it's so full of bad jokes. Yeah, that movie sucked. But it was a fun thing to watch with my friends while I was tipsy. But yeah, I did play a bunch of games this week, and I actually beat at one of them. So I want to say I finished off Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Torna the Golden Country, which was the kind of the DLC spin-off game that they made for Xenoblade 2, which you can buy for about half price on the eShop, and I highly recommend it as like a short taster for Xenoblade.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was playing through that. I got it with the DLC when the game came out, but I didn't, beat Xenoblade 2 until just a couple weeks ago. And then I started working on Torna. I really like Torna. I think the battle system for that game, it makes an effort to differentiate itself from the battle system of Xenoblade 2 just enough in terms of how the combat operates, how the characters fight, and how you control the characters, because you basically control a party of 3 characters at once, and you switch between 2 characters in the front and 1 in the back, or 2 in the back and 1 in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And switching on the fly between them allows you to kind of tackle tasks differently. And it makes switching between like the 2 people you have in the support role, the 2 in the back, on the fly when you have them in the front, versus having the 1 person in the front who is your primary attacker. But the whole game, like a lot of RPGs, is finding your enemy's elemental weakness and exploiting it through combos. In that way, it kind of reminds me of the press turn system from Shin Megami Tensei, where it's a lot about like once you find a weakness in the enemy, you can exploit it and easily get a bunch of like huge hitting combos and make the numbers go very high. But Yeah, it's a super enjoyable little spin-off. It's not very long. I spent a lot of time playing it just because I wanted to drink in the world, but most of the game is brand new, which is nice. Like a brand new area to explore.
Mm-hmm.
And the music is really excellent. The score for Xenoblade 2 is great, but the score for Torna is interesting because it's a lot jazzier. And the battle theme straight up is like a jazz rock kind of jam track with like a large improvisational piano solo in the middle and like really, really beautiful horns and strings. It's jazzy and cool and interesting and kind of not your typical RPG battle music. And getting to hear it throughout most of the game is I never got tired of it. I really liked it. Yeah, the game is fun. It's can be difficult at times too, which is nice. You can also adjust the difficulty though. But there's some really difficult kind of enemies that you will encounter in the wild, and if you have enemy aggression set on, they will just attack you no matter what their level is and what your level is.
Oh god.
So you will be fucked if you are in the wrong place at the wrong time. Which I appreciate about it because it makes the world feel a lot more hostile.
Yeah, which is important
and
in games
because
like
it's a game that doesn't necessarily have random encounters, it adds a bit of the shock of a random encounter to the gameplay. By having like some enemies automatically attack you based on just their aggression levels being really high, but you can actually lower an enemy's aggression level and up your aggression level because aggro is like a quantifiable kind of thing that you adjust mid-battle in Xenoblade, which is really, really cool. It makes the combat once again just flow really nicely and feel very like it's not a game that feels like you're on autopilot all the time. You can certainly adjust the settings to make it that way, but if you are playing it with like even just on the normal mode that the game starts you off on, like you really have to try in the game. You have to use your abilities wisely. You have to think about positioning in relation to the enemy because some attacks are side attacks and some attacks are front and back attacks. Some attacks launch the enemy into the air and you can, get them to juggle a combo on them, which is really, really cool. But yeah, I really, really liked Torna. It was fun. The story was great because it's a really in-depth exploration of one of the primary antagonists of the first game back when he was a good guy. Or not of the first game, but in Xenoblade 2, I should say. Back when he was a good guy, and he and his crew are like the main characters of Torna. And they're really, really interesting. His name is Jin. He's a really good character. I actually really like him. And you can kind of see how, because at the end of Xenoblade 2, minor spoilers, Jin does eventually have a change of heart. And he like, in his last resort, uses his power to defend you. But you can see where, like, the really, like, the Jin of that game, like, got that final spark of goodness from. Because you could see he was a really good man.
Yeah.
And he was hurt and spit on and crushed underfoot by every horrible circumstance you could be, like, made to deal with. And he denied the world the satisfaction of killing him. And in that, he lived for hundreds of years embittered and angry and alone. And you could see how that would turn a man sour. But to see what he was like when he was genuinely a kind, empathetic person, it really made that final moment resonate strongly with me. Thinking back on it, I'm like, they really gave that character a lot of attention. So yeah, I super duper like Torna the Golden Country. I'm happy to have played it, and there's still a bunch of side missions and shit I can go in and play, but right now I'm gonna let it take a back seat because I'm playing 2 other games, and the first of those games is Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey Redux on the 3DS. I've gotten further into that game than I ever have playing the regular DS one, mostly because I've just been grinding away like nobody's business for hours on end. But I'm super strong in the game now, and I have like a lot of Maka, and I have a lot of strong items, and I have a lot of strong demons. I've been doing really good in the demon fusion. I've been like optimizing my demons to be like the most effective and versatile parties that I could generate.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm...
Which is always the hardest part of those games.
Going back to the game with like a deeper knowledge of the systems of SMT, I feel like I'm doing super good. Like I got past the boss that I could never beat, Ouroboros.
Yeah.
and now I am like much further past that point, and I'm doing very, very good. So I'm enjoying Strange Journey. It's a great game. I like the additions they've made to it. I think I said that on another episode. But they made a lot of great additions to the game, and it's really enjoyable. And I'm enjoying playing it on my new 2DS, because I got a 2DS XL, and I really do love that thing. It's a great little console. I did my data transfer to it, and I'm not missing the 3D at all.
No,
I don't miss the 3D. I like the 3DS, and I even like some of the 3DS's 3D functionality.
Yeah, it's great in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, it's great in a lot of games. It's just, it's mostly for a lot of the RPGs that I'm playing, not really a huge deal. You don't really need it. So,
I think
SMT
even
Redux is great without it.
Bravely Default has some pretty cool...
Yeah, there's a lot of nice depth of field stuff. But
but it's not 3D.
Well, it is stereoscopic 3D. It is real 3D.
I guess,
but it's just, it's not... It's it strains the eyes to play for an extended period of time, and when you're playing an RPG, you want to play for hours on end, and you have to turn off the 3D. And it's the screen on the original and new 3DS was just never good enough to make the 3D screen nice to look at. The non 3D screen, I mean, nice to look at. It looked always kind of muddy. So to have a nice clear screen that is at least the quality of the Switch screen, like it feels that way to me.
Yeah.
I am satisfied with it. It's also doesn't, the console, it's lightweight. It fits in my pocket really nicely, much more easily than my 3DS XL.
And game go good.
Game go burr on it. Very nice.
Yes.
But I appreciate the design of the 2DS XL. I really like it. It's a comfy little system.
Yeah,
a lot of
very
people
nice.
complained about it feeling cheap, and I see what they mean at first, but I think they're equating cheapness with weight.
Yeah, that's
and
the
it's
thing.
just because it's an economical system.
Yeah, you're used to it.
It took out all the shit you don't need.
Yeah, you're used to it weighing more, so that's kind of why. And like the plastic feels a little but not.
It's not at all. Like it's really good plastic.
Yeah, but I mean, just because the weight, it tricks you a bit. I
My
find.
screen isn't floppy and wobbly anymore, which is nice. The ratcheting joint in the screen is strong, which is nice. No, I really like my 2DS XL. I think it was a worthwhile.
Oh yeah, no, it's probably the best iteration of the handheld Nintendo shit.
It is. I think it's straight up the best handheld Nintendo has ever produced.
Way better than the original 2DS. Yeesh.
Yeah, I hate the look of that thing. It looks like a slice of cake.
I don't know what they were smoking.
I don't know why they didn't just make it a clamshell.
Yeah, it's such a strange choice.
It's a really stupid looking thing. I don't even want to own one. I hate it so much. It's such like a useless piece of garbage.
It looks so weird.
But the 2DS XL, wonderful little console. And you know what? Since the 3DS is kind of on its last legs there, I recommend if you haven't bought one and you're thinking of getting a 3DS before this prices are scalped really high, go and get one. I got mine from Walmart. It delivered in like 2 days. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
And I got a free copy of Mario Kart with it, and I have been enjoying that just as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. Then the other game that I've been playing is Astral Chain, which I bought when it came out, but have not touched since I purchased it.
Which is insane to me.
I was busy playing a bunch of other good RPGs.
Yeah.
Now I've finished all the RPGs I meant to finish. So I'm well, you know what came out around the same time? Dragon Quest.
It's true.
And I just kind of disappeared into that, and then after Dragon Quest, I started playing Fire Emblem, and it was like, well, bye time. And then Animal Crossing came out, so it's a whole bunch of bunch of factors kind of coming in. There's a lot of good releases.
Yeah.
And I had a good time with all of them. But yeah, really, really, really enjoying my time with Astral Chain so far. I'm not terribly far in. I'm about 3 chapters in. It's very different from most Platinum games, and that was something that I heard a lot of people saying, but I was just like, how different could it be? And I get it now. It's not a character action game. And you would be remiss to think it is based on how it looks and based on who made it, but it is not a character action game. I would classify it as a 3D brawler with some character action elements.
Yeah, so kind of like Nier Automata.
Yeah, even Nier Automata has more character action elements than this, because in Automata you can jump.
Yeah, but I've seen some crazy Astral Chain shit though.
But there's no jumping in Astral Chain.
Yeah.
At least not where I am. Maybe you get jumping later, but Yeah, you have the ability to call these creatures called chimeras, which is like the big gimmick of the game, and they kind of operate like a JoJo stand. Yeah, they're just JoJo stands. And they look like cool robots or big dogs. They're really, really neat. They have like swords for arms.
They fucking hate being enslaved by you.
Oh yeah, no, they are like clearly like feral creatures that you just have like the loosest amount of control over.
Yeah.
But commanding them to like sicking them on your enemies and having them waste shit is just so fun. And it's a slick game. It looks beautiful. The soundtrack is great. Voice acting in English is excellent.
Mm-hmm.
The English dub is great. Like most Platinum dubs, but you know, it's still nice to hear good English dub of a game. You know, but I really, really am enjoying my time with it so far. I could do without the whole cop aesthetic.
Yeah.
But it's so futuristic and so outside of the realm of reality that I can almost forgive it.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little weird, though. It does kind of leave a sour taste in my mouth now.
Yeah.
But it is a fun game nonetheless. And it's not like you're playing as a cop who's going around fucking shit up. And it's not like it's even a vaguely realistic world.
Yeah, your twin,
so
your cop twin got kidnapped by evil corporeal beings.
Yeah, it's very silly. So yeah, I like the limited but cute character creator at the beginning, so you can personalize your character.
Mm-hmm.
You can pick the gender of the character, which version of Akira you want to play as. And no, I'm enjoying my time with Astral Chain so far. Combos are really, really fun to execute. They're flashy as fuck because it's a Platinum game, obviously. And the fighting, just the combat feels good, even though it's a lot more pensive and sluggish than the combat in basically any other Platinum game. Especially considering the last Platinum game I poured this much time into was Bayonetta 2. Like, really not the same kind of game.
Yeah.
But fun nonetheless. Like I said, more a 3D brawler than anything else. But an innovative and fun 3D brawler with some unique mechanics and a very, very in-depth world building and world exploration. Like, the detail of the world is really impeccable, and just wandering around in that cyberpunk city is really cool. Because everything feels alive, like it feels like a functioning, breathing place. Not quite to the level of something like Kamurocho and Yakuza, but not too far away from Kamurocho, honestly, in terms of just
system
how it feels like
shit. Like,
exactly. Like, in how much it feels like it's very lived in, I should say. That's why.
Like, that's the thing, right? Like, it's still on the Switch, so it's gonna feel lived in, but for it would have to be like a PS4 game for it to feel like Yamarocha, because, like, even in the Yakuza games, you see, like, the people popping in and out of the world because it's what they need to do to optimize it properly, but
basically.
Yeah, the Switch would not have a good time with that.
Yeah.
Kiryu for Smash.
It's I really enjoyed my time with Astral Chain. I can't wait to continue playing it. Yeah, it's super, super great. Oh yeah, and I did play one more thing, which I want to push before we head into the news.
Yeah, this is a beefy episode.
It is a beefy episode. I played a game that I bought a long time ago called Cross Sneak Plus, and I poured like a couple of hours into it. It's a very, very inexpensive puzzle game that you can get for Steam or for Switch. And it is a Y2K aesthetic puzzle game. The whole game is basically built around the aesthetic of like Y2K fashion, music, and culture.
Yeah.
So it's like late 90s year / 2000 kind of looks to it. It looks like it basically looks like the Sega Dreamcast like menu.
Oh.
But it's really
pretty cool.
It's a really pretty looking game. It's fun. It's an indie developed puzzle game. Cheap as hell, a lot of style, and an amazing soundtrack. A soundtrack, in fact, that is so good that I just bought the vinyl for it.
Nice.
And it's coming in soon. It's like a drum and bass soundtrack. It's really, really good. It's super
what is the game called again?
It's called Cross Sneak Plus. It's spelled CROSSNIQ +. But very, very good game. I like it a lot. Follow the dev on Twitter. His name is Max Krieger. He is really, really cool. He's also he's very good at Twitter. But yeah, he put the funding through for the Cross Sneak album, and
Oh
it
got
God,
the
kickstarted.
Computer head person.
Yeah,
love this game.
It's so good. It is a Sherry puzzle game.
Yeah. I was about to say, did Sherry make this?
I know, it looks like the inside of Sherry's brain, but
it's
Sherry
just missing knights.
At Rancid Yogurt on Twitter and Instagram. Her art is very good. Please follow her. But looks like the inside of Sherry's brain. Like that's what this game
like
feels
it's missing knights, Sonic, and Channel.
But it almost has a Space Channel 5 stuff in it, actually. So and the soundtrack is very Knights. Okay. Like it's Knights, but if Knights was filtered through a drum and bass, because it's got a lot of the similar kind of chords.
Yeah.
Really, really good game though. Cross Sneak Plus, highly recommend it. It's cheap as hell. It's so inexpensive. I bought it for 99 cents actually, so it's not an expensive game. But I figured, if I'm gonna buy this really fun puzzle game for 99 cents, I'm gonna buy the soundtrack for $40 on vinyl because it's really beautiful.
Yeah, might as well.
You can get the soundtrack on digital though too for like $10.
Is the vinyl cover like what's the art? Because that's always the big selling point for me on vinyls.
The vinyl art is nice. It's all digital and cool and like futuristic in that Y2K way.
Yeah,
but it's the vinyl itself that I like.
Oh, they got the
color is beautiful. It's teal and dark blue.
Okay, hold on. It's right there. Okay, yeah.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, look, you know me. I literally just bought that beautiful Miles Davis album because it was blue as fuck. I mean, I love that album anyway, but I bought a kind of blue vinyl edition just because I like the pretty colors. And my last Phoenix album I bought on vinyl, Ti Amo, also has a Coke bottle green vinyl.
Amazing.
Which is really beautiful. Also, my Death Grips ex-military vinyl is pink. So
as it should be.
So no, I like special colored vinyl, so I got that. But Cross Sneak's soundtrack is very good, so I'm gonna be spinning that shit for a long time. It's a great dance album. But yeah, so that's all the shit that I played. Do we want to hop into the news?
Yeah. I guess we should.
The big. I want to hit the big news first.
Yeah. Let's just get it out of the way.
Okay, so
Steve's
brown
Minecraft.
bricks and my Smash.
Minecraft.
I do like brown bricks in my Smash. It's so fun. Yeah, they put Steve Minecraft in Super Smash Brothers. He's like the next DLC character.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It does make sense. I feel like
I was upset, and then I didn't care because I don't play Smash. I was just like, it wasn't my character. Fuck this. And then I moved on with my life.
The way I've seen a lot of mixed views on it. I already bought the season pass, so I'm gonna get him either way. But the way that I think about it, honestly, is I pretty much got all the characters I actually wanted already. So I'm just curious to see who they're adding now. And
except for Sora,
if I'm being honest,
and Goku,
and Goku,
and Yakuza Man.
I'm not a huge fan of Minecraft. I'm pretty sure I've made that clear on here before. It's not a game that I enjoy playing. It's not really for me. Even though I'm a big fan of like Lego and stuff, so I do find it weird.
I mean, I'll make fun of anyone for anything, but you can make fun of me for the stupid things that I like.
Exactly.
It's not to belittle you. It's just
I like a lot of things that are like silly and childish too.
Yeah.
Just some things don't appeal to me. So
I like Madoka Magica.
I don't think I'd consider that childish.
Well, no, but it's not good.
It's very trashy in the best way possible.
Yeah, exactly. See? But someone who might be like a Minecraft fan will be like, you watch Madoka? What the fuck? And I'll be like, yeah.
Minecraft has a lot of like I think it's clearly a historically significant game. It's been around for a decade at this point.
It took over YouTube for a good 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of still is dominating the stream game and stuff. People still stream Minecraft.
I mean, it beat Fortnite at one point, like a year or two ago too. It came back, super strong.
People love Minecraft. Like even if
I don't get it,
you personally don't get it, or
it doesn't matter.
Which I don't necessarily myself. I think I can kind of admire and respect the position it has in the canon of historically significant games, and I think that position warrants it, this victory. You
Yeah.
know? I think Steve Minecraft, as non-character as he is, he's not much more of a non-character than some of the other characters in the fucking game.
Well, I mean, the thing
Mr.
too is
Game
like,
& Watch is not an arbiter of, like, you know, creativity and personality. He's just a historically important representation of something. So Steve Minecraft to me is much in the same way. Just, you know, a representation of a character from a game that is historically very important to gaming.
yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like, am I happy about it? No. Am I super pissed?
Am I going to make Steve Minecraft my Smash main? Probably not.
No, definitely. Am I going to play Smash now that he's in? Absolutely not. So glad I'm not streaming Ultimate right now.
I feel like he looks like he plays fun.
Yeah, you know, his moveset looks really interesting.
His moveset is very unique. There's no other character in the game that plays like him.
His roll off the edge is hilarious.
The DLC characters. Yeah, his roll is cute. I mean, I got Byleth. I got everybody I wanted. So
yeah,
I was playing as
how I felt about Steve is how people
Min-Min.
felt about Joker and Terry.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's like indifferent to mildly upset.
Yeah.
Although some people really didn't like Terry, which is like they're stupid and cowards.
Yeah.
Once again, a historically important fighting game character.
The fuck is a quarter circle, bro?
That's how you know that Smash players don't actually play fighting games.
Yeah.
You know, some of the best Smash players though are pro fighting game players. So
yeah.
Like, you know,
yeah.
They're just.
One does not impede the other.
No, exactly. But I feel like a lot of professional fighting game players are good at Smash, but a lot of pro Smashers that don't play fighting games aren't necessarily great at fighting games.
Yeah. I'm not very good at Smash.
The skill set doesn't translate
just because I have a hard time focusing on what's happening. But I've never played
game.
like the air quotes tournament official rules, right? So it'd probably be easier to...
No items and certain other kind of things.
Meanwhile, I'm like, why the fuck is this Snorlax rolling towards me while Star Fox 64 fighter jet is hitting me from the back of the screen, and now fucking Cloud is doing a fucking limit break on my ass. What is happening? That's why I don't like Smash.
It's not a fighting game.
No.
It's not a fighting game, and it's a party game, and it's a good party game.
Yeah, it's a good party game that has competitive aspects.
Yeah, that's definitely a competitive fighting game. But I mean, I think Steve is an interesting addition. I saw some people were really mad, and some people were like really excited on my TL. So it seems like the opinion really is like split down the middle.
I was just that picture of Mike from Red Letter Media just holding his beer and like hand over the mouth.
Wow.
Dead-eyed, just...
I think my reaction, I think the first thing that I did was post like a Minecraft with gadget meme.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You can see how seriously I'm taking this.
I
think I said like, what was it? Did I say something like, I told you to shut up, but you didn't listen.
Yeah.
Hey, look,
it was
an open
like
slot in the Smash roster, like something like that. Hey, look, a free slot in a Smash roster.
God.
But I mean, yeah, I can't be mad about it. It's just.
I mean, I remember the trailer
let the brown bricks
played.
be in Mine Smash.
He breaks down the wall and he's standing there face to face with Mario, and I was like, "Is this a fucking dream?" Like I actually.
It was kind of a fever dream of a trailer.
It was just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Actually, like what the actual fuck?
I mean, they really did it, Ben. They brought brown bricks to Mine Smash.
Brown
Brown bricks.
I told you to shut up, but you didn't listen. Oh, look,
right,
free iPad.
Oh, look, a free Smash slot. But it won't get old. Minecraft with Gadget is evergreen funny. But what was the next order of news? That was... I got so occupied thinking about Minecraft with Gadget.
The new Guilty Gear character is cool.
Yes!
It's good. I don't have much to say about it. Her moveset looks dope. I can't.
You don't have much to say about it? You were saying a lot about her before.
Well, I mean, you can just go on my Twitter timeline if you want.
What can we say about Giovanna? She's sexy. Her design is really, really good. She's almost, as you said, a mashup of like all of the most appealing recent fighting game character designs.
Yeah.
Like everyone from Twin Tell to What's her name?
Fuck, I said it earlier.
Shit.
Twintail, there's
Well, there's a little bit of everybody in
I'm getting
Giovanna's
fucking
design.
sleepy. My brain's just like not working anymore.
She's
Twintail,
she's really pretty. She's a kicky girl.
Yeah.
She kick.
She do kick. She has
kick.
green pupper.
Yeah, big green
with a
spirit
retweet
dog.
like on its forehead.
It's a really, really good design, and I mean it's Guilty Gear designs are always really good.
Oh yeah,
I don't think
especially for this game.
I don't think I've ever seen a character in Guilty Gear that didn't look fucking awesome. So that's just Arxis for you, though. They're constantly hitting it out of the park with these designs.
Yep.
So yeah, no, Giovanna looks fucking cool, and I honestly, I think this Guilty Gear is coming to the Switch.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure all of the older Guilty Gears are on Switch now, from what I know.
Yeah, I know that, but I don't know if this one's hitting Switch.
I don't know, but I'm holding out for hope because I want to play as Giovanna. I also it got me really interested in playing Guilty Gear again. Not that I wasn't before, but
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I was like, I was getting this game before.
There's so many fighting games, and I'm already pouring all of my attention into Battle for the Grid.
Yeah.
So there we go. Which is unlike most Arxis games, actually has really good netcode.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing. That's the thing that's interesting about Strive is they're actually talking about netcode, which is refreshing.
That's nice.
From
That's
Arxis.
nice. I highly appreciate them actually considering that netcode is important for once. For competitive play online, that thing that you need, netcode.
What?
But
what code?
Oh, sorry. Netcode?
Roll back? Why don't you roll back to the back of the line?
You want it to have a more difficult time connecting to the internet than a Wii game? Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
You want us to make the netcode worse? Weird, but okay.
So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm hopefully they bring it to the Switch and I can play it because
we got 2 more characters to be announced before the release date in April, the 6th.
It's gonna be so exciting.
I think
the roster looks great.
I'm throwing $100 at this game on release day. I'm gonna get the Ultimate Edition, no questions asked.
Absolutely fair. I don't know how you couldn't want to. Honestly, it's just a very, very nice character roster, and it's Guilty Gear, so it's gonna be fun. But that is some fucking good shit. I'm excited to play as Giovanna, and I'm excited to see how she plays more extensively going forward, and how people who are picking her for the tournaments use her.
Yeah,
because she has the potential to be a super fun character to watch.
I mean, she has the same cross-up potential that Laura does. Laura's in air heavy. Giovanna has also a spinning thing that like a spinning kick move in air that has very good cross-up ability.
Which is very Elena.
Yeah.
Very Elena of you. I appreciate that because I love Elena. Another good kick girl.
Yeah.
But, so I guess in conclusion, Giovanna can stomp her heel into my brain until my brain leaks out my ears.
Yeah. She has big King vibes, too, from KOF, which is good.
Oh, yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. So, that was a really, really interesting reveal, and it was kind of not the character I think a lot of people were expecting to get announced. Not that kind of character.
Well, a lot of people want Biken, but Biken's going to be the Melina of this game.
Yeah, probably.
As it should be. You know what? I'd be fine if Biken doesn't even show up in this one.
I like Biken a lot because she's sexy samurai mommy.
Yeah.
But, you don't have to have every Guilty Gear character in the game
to
feel like Guilty Gear.
So...
this
is a good replacement.
If the trade-off is other new cool female characters, it's great because Guilty Gear has a lot of great female characters, but Biken, I like. Biken is kind of like their female mascot.
I want. I know. Ino needs to come back.
Yep. I really like Ino as well. Actually, I know. I know you like Ino. But, that's a really, really looks like a fun time, and I'm kind of excited to see where that goes. Did we have anything else we wanted to touch upon? It was a big news week.
They put Rambo in Mortal Kombat.
Oh, shit! Yeah. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Okay,
How could you?
So Mortal Kombat has officially become the game that your boomer dad wants to play.
Yeah, what was it? I saw someone's tweet that described it perfectly, and it was like, wow, MK11 really just smashed, but your dad picks the roster. And I was like, holy shit.
Pretty much. Oh, it's got Rambo and the Terminator.
Spawn and RoboCop.
And Spawn and RoboCop, bro.
And Terminator 2.
Terminator 2.
The whole movie, it's right there. You can play as the VHS box.
Its power is it distracts you from wanting to fight because you just want to sit down and watch Terminator 2.
Yeah.
But
it's a friendship fatality.
That is a choice. I think it's quite the choice considering it's like First Blood Rando. Rando.
Rando
John
Carligian.
Rando. Who fucking knows? It's like First Blood Rambo, and First Blood Rambo is literally like a soldier with PTSD, and the last thing he wanted to do was fight again. Yeah. So putting that era Rambo into like a fucking fighting game seems a little like in, direct opposition to the ideology of the first movie. Although the first Rambo movie is shit too, because it's like entirely about that stupid myth that like Vietnam War veterans were spit on when they got back to the US, which is like not true.
Yeah.
It's just like a patriotic thing that Republicans try to pass off as true so that like Democrats who were opposed to the Vietnam War look like fucking pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Even like Democrats are pieces of shit, just not for that reason.
Yeah.
But
I want to bring up the point that I bring up every time someone's talking about how Rambo is supposed to be like a thing about the PTSD and blah blah blah. It's like NRS gave their entire studio PTSD. So
yeah,
I don't think NRS cares.
Yeah, no, people maybe don't remember that, but like a couple years ago, there was like a lot of people talking.
Oh no, it's like a year ago.
Yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was like a year ago. Man, this has been the year of 1,000 years.
I know, it's wild.
But yeah, no, yeah, NRS like gotten a lot of shit for like forcing a lot of their devs to kind of look at intense, like very triggering imagery.
Gore.
Yeah, like real gore to simulate some of these gross.
Because you gotta get the blood right.
Fatalities.
It's gotta look real.
Like, to the extent that like one of the devs who spoke out about it said like it got to the point where like he was having trouble like differentiating his pet dog from like just a sack of meat.
Yeah.
Which is like it must be a very dehumanizing to just bear witness to that kind of carnage every day for the sake of creating something that's realistically gory.
As a job for 8 hours a day, like there's
and NRS is known for having harsh crunch.
What? Crunch in my video game industry?
It's
more likely than you think.
Oops, all crunch.
Looking at you, CD Projekt.
Oh yeah, fuck CD Projekt too, because
they lied.
They straight up lied to the press saying we're not going to have any crunch.
None at all.
They had crunch, really bad crunch.
Still gonna buy that game
lasted
though.
For 6 months. Well, they really got you by the balls, huh?
Oh, they do. They fucking know it too.
My stance on that game is the same as it's ever been. I ain't touching it with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
So you can be our man on the street for Cyberpunk, because I'm not going near that game. It is cursed. But holy shit, dude, CD Projekt fucking suck as a company. They're really awful. And yeah, NRS suck too. Crunch time. Intensive crunch being, forcing your devs to look at really harsh, real gore it's cruelty.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's really fucked up. It's, this isn't looking at haha funny movie gore. This is looking at like actual pictures of dead human beings and animals and trying to simulate to the best of your ability what that horrific maimed thing looks like in a video game. It's not worth it. I'd rather a Mortal Kombat with no fatalities at all if that's the price that they're paying.
I'd rather
make them look so good.
Mortal Kombat with MK versus DC fatalities.
Heroic brutalities?
Yeah, heroic brutalities.
Heroic brutalities.
See that? I mean, he stomped him on the chest.
The battle ending like brutalities and fucking Injustice 2 are really nice.
Yeah.
They're not overly
Well, it's just because
great.
the MK versus DC was that weird stepping stone in between the two.
Yeah, that was a really weird, not good game. And it oh my god, it is really weird now that I'm thinking about it. Is that game a canonical part of like the Injustice universe, I wonder?
I don't know.
That's fucking weird.
Oh my god. Hold on. I
But
think
yeah.
I am only being recorded on the left.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's mono.
That's fine. Don't worry.
It'll suck, but whatever. Sorry, everyone. I just realized
I'll
it.
apologize prematurely for the bad. But at least you're recording through the proper mic, right?
Yeah, it's the proper mic, which is why I was like, "What is
That's
happening?"
fine.
But I just saw
You know,
that it's a mono recording.
it's fine if it's mono. That's not a huge deal.
Audacity must have updated. Oh, it might have been the Windows update.
That's possible.
Fuckers.
But
I'm coming for you, Bill Gates.
It's not a huge.
This is
it's
a
not
threat.
A huge issue. But yeah, so yeah, that fucking sucks. CD Projekt and NRS are being fucking assholes, and like all asshole companies in the industry are just continuing their shitty practices with like zero punishment or criticism. And that fucking sucks ass, frankly. So yeah, that sucks. Huge donkey.
Getting real sick of liking video games, dude.
It really, liking and enjoying video games really feels like shit right now, quite honestly. But I love them too much to give them up, and they're like, a source of solace in these trying times. But yeah, and was there any more news?
That I can think of, not that I remember, honestly, right now.
Nor can I, and so maybe I think we'll call it for this episode.
Yeah.
But that was a nice long one, and a nice first proper spooktacular for the month.
Yeah. Happy Halloween. Jesus, what is wrong with me? Happy Halloween, everyone. Jeez.
Happy Halloween. When we'll have many more Happy Halloweens to come this month, because every episode in October is a spooktacular. That's the rule.
We're gonna add spooky graveyard noises to the background of all episodes.
Don't tell me to do that. I'm gonna have to like Paul stretch it really far.
Yeah. don't autocorrect it either. Just make it like actually 0.5 slower than the podcast was like.
Oh my god, that's gonna sound so bad. But yeah, I guess thank you everybody for tuning in. You can find me at Twitter on Twitter at Nouveau Art Punk. I'm also Nouveau Art Punk on Instagram and on Letterboxd if you want to read about some of the movies I've been watching, which I do talk about on the show, but sometimes I write a little bit more there, or I forget what I write and I say something else on the show. So you can follow me there. You can, I guess, just check the link tree on my Instagram if you want to make a couple of charitable donations to a bunch of causes that require it. And you could also look, I have a story archive on my Nouveau Art Punk Instagram as well that's full of donation links. So, hit them up if you have any money and you're looking for charitable causes to donate to. I've aggregated a few there. And where can people find you, Ben?
You can find me at Scratch Me Silly on basically everything. I
do the streams.
Stream Wednesdays and Fridays now. I'm dropping Tuesdays because we do the podcast thing, and it's like 10 now. I'm not going to start a stream at 10.
Sounds reasonable, I'd say.
Well, I mean, sometimes I do, but not after like a full day's work and then a full podcast and then whatever,
you are burnt out by
yeah, so Wednesdays and Fridays are going to be the days now.
Sounds good.
And that's that. I haven't done much, actually, stream-wise for October, which is kind of sad. I've mostly been editing videos, but...
Hey, but your editing is getting really good.
Yeah, I'm very proud of them. They make me laugh, which is all I could hope for.
There we go.
Yeah, so I'm going to be doing Resident Evil 7, Alien Isolation, a couple other spooky games. There's a spooky fighting game, which I've been teasing since September, I think, that I'm going to get to. I'm going to do tomorrow and just get it out of the way.
You definitely want to have a peek at that.
Because, yeah. Can't keep stretching this.
No, you really can't. But this has been a first proper spooktacular episode of GamePunx for October. Thank you for listening.
Yes.
And have a spooky month of October. Watch some good horror movies. Eat some candy. Be irresponsible. Treat yourself. And if you want to go outside, remember to wear your goddamn mask. And if you're in a heavily isolated area like we are in Montreal, just
stay inside. Watch Reanimator. Watch From Beyond. Watch Color of Space. You'll have a good time.
Watch some Hellraiser or something. Have fun. Enjoy the spooky time indoors.
Murder your neighbors and make it a murder mystery for the whole town to solve. Wait, no, don't do that.
No, don't do that. Everybody's gonna go
good.
out.
They did it.
It's a horrible idea.
If this, I hope I didn't just Simpsons predicts.
I think you did.
Oh,
Anti-maskers commit murder.
sorry everyone.
More at 7. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Have a happy Spookoween, and we'll see you back next week for either a new episode or a new bonus round. Who knows?
Not us.
Not us. This shit isn't planned.
I love building bricks with Minecraft. Building bricks with Minecraft is the best thing and the most amount of fun you can have while playing an app. I understand why all the kids are playing this game these days. It's because they like to build brown bricks with Minecraft. I also like to build brown bricks with Minecraft. It's the most fun you can possibly have.